are officially live. And hello, welcome everyone to the Couch Cooperative, where we are continuing to play through our 5th editions. I don't know why my music cut off. Our 5th edition's Dungeons & Dragons campaign of The Curse of Strahd. So we are continuing through that. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. We do have a couple announcements. Our first announcement is that I have done goofed. Okay? And I can't express enough how goofy I had done goofed. On my computer, I tried to download a voice modulator so that I could try to see if it was a tool as a DM that I could use. I was hoping to implement it to see if it would go through our Discord call, to see if I could get it to where my players could hear like some fun modulations, so that I could kind of expand what I do on stream without like having to kind of learn how to modulate my voice in ways that just aren't natural for me. Not only did it not work out well, but I had left it on the entire stream. So all of our episode 10 sounds as if I'm on auto-tune to record a hip-hop track. And so because of that, the entire 10th episode is not fully accessible on our YouTube page, and that is my fault. I have done goofed. I own up to it. So what I will do to correct it is not leave my voice modulator on, but on the episode for tonight, in the description below, I'm going to be listing an entire like recap of what happened this session prior. That's a little bit more thorough than kind of our initial where we left off. So that should make up for it. Other than that, we don't have any additional announcements for the time being. So, thank you. That being said, last we left off, our adventurers, Memento Mori and Dima, since Dima's not technically a member of the Memento Mori, our companions, our adventuring party, had teamed up with the patriarch of the Mardukov family, Davian Mardukov, to, with combined forces, to fight off this army of twig blights and needle blights and some corrupted druids that were attacking the Wizard of Wine's winery. They were successful in fending off this assault by creating a ring of fire that surrounded the entire winery, and then that enabled the twig blights to not be able to cross over. However, they did resurrect a corrupted treant, and so you guys fought this treant and were successful in defeating this treant. After defeating the treant, an angel of light had descended into Barovia. How this angel was able to get into this demi-plane is very difficult for you guys to figure out, but with limited time, the angel was successful in killing the druids to eliminate the Twig Blight army, to kind of quell off the forces before they would have eventually overwhelmed you, and giving you guys a much-needed reprieve. The angel had told you that he was an angel of Lathander, the god of dawn, the god of the morning, which is a god that you've seen at temple here, back in the town of Barovia. And that he was here to tell you that the next leg of your journey would be found and accomplished at a location known as Argynvostholt, which is an abandoned cathedral, a cathedral, like, fort castle, that belonged to a silver dragon known as Argynvost. And Argynvost had led a knightly order known as the Knights of Silver, and they were one of the major opposition forces to Strahd in his kind of claiming of power and conquering of the region of Barovia before they were all destroyed. And you had reason to believe that the location kind of matched some of the criteria surrounding your first Taroka reading card of the Avenger. Treasures that lied in a dragon's hoard that was like once clean but is now corrupted. And so you had decided to make haste to Argynvostholt, with Davian Mardukov officially joining your party as this kind of prophesied raven, which was one of your Taroka reading cards. So with Davian Mardukov in tow, and acquiring a new companion, you guys go back onto your wagon, your cart that you have with Ismark and Irina, and have made your way from the Wizard of Wine's winery, leaving the Mardukov family to kind of operate things by themselves, and have made your way to Argynvostholt, which was where we left off.
I have a question.
Sure.
How long have we been traveling for so far?
About a week.
Okay. Because I am in charge of our food, so I need to, make sure.
Yes. That is
How
correct.
much of that was paid for at the bar, though? Didn't we get free food staying at that guy's house for, like...
For staying at whose house?
The winery? Did we give any food there?
Yes, so before you guys had left, Davian had actually provided about a 10 days worth of rations. A 10 day is what a week is in D&D.
Okay.
So you guys have consumed that 10 day upon arrival to Argynvostholt. So you're basically back so that you're not having to worry about doing
square one.
Yep, you're right where your numbers say you are, and that should be good. Now, for the duration of the trip, because Davian doesn't have like a spot on the wagon, he's been flying as a raven. So now his kind of identity as a were-raven is a little bit more noticeable.
Secret.
And he's gone into the hybrid form. He's already shown you guys like what he is, so he's not hiding it from you guys. So he turns into a full raven and kind of flies around, perks up on top, and then when you guys rest, that's when he turns back into Davian. His behavior over the course of this 10 day has been a little revelatory. So he initially comes off very cranky, very grumpy, and now given this opportunity to really go out into the world and do something better for his family and to actually be a part of something that is meaningful for not just the wealth and prosperity of his family, but also for the legacy and the fame and the glory of his family. Being a noble family, he's becoming more and more amiable, so more friendly, more easy to get along with. He still has this old like grumpy, quirky, like old man kind of vibe to him, but he's becoming a little bit more friendly with you guys over the course of the 10 day and is being a little bit less just like irritating, and you're seeing that side of him kind of shed, for lack of a better words, or molt, which I think is like the bird version of like molting their feathers and kind of growing anew.
Okay, cool. That's and then so is a 10 day 10 days, or
Yes.
is that like okay?
Yep, a 10 day is 10 days, and that's why they call it a 10 day. I don't know who came up with that, but they did a pretty good job making it simple.
I wonder if they did that to make it like more translatable. No, that doesn't make sense because everyone lives on like a 7-day week, don't they?
There have been other calendars.
No, the 10 days in D&D actually operate off of a full 10 day calendar.
Oh, like a real calendar?
Yeah, I could find it. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
One of the Mayans calendars.
It's called the Calendar of Harptos, and it was created by the wizard Harptos of Kalinth.
Oh, I see.
It's split into 12 months, in which each month has 3 10 days. So each month is 30 days, and there are an additional 5 days that fall between those months that act as transitory days that bring the total number of days to 365.
And that calendar works with the agricultural seasons and
Yep. So
okay,
it
cool.
looks like those individual days are actually the equinoxes and solstices.
Huh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Made it simple.
Yep. That's actually pretty easy. But
Yeah.
yeah. So without further ado, let me go ahead and open up my book here and let's get started as you guys approach Argynvostholt. So, high above the river valley juts this quiet promontory, upon which looms a sepulchral mansion. Its turrets capped with fairy tale cones, its towers lined with sculpted battlements. A third of the structure has collapsed. From your guys' perspective, it's the right side of the structure. The rest appears to be... a third of the structure has collapsed, as has part of the roof. But the rest of the building appears to be intact. A dark octagonal tower rises above the surrounding architecture.
And you said the right side appears to be intact, or
The right side appears to have collapsed, as
Okay.
well as much of the roof on top.
I don't know if that's just like to help me imagine it, but that feels like an interesting detail to put in. Like,
Yeah, there are several floors. So the roof on the topmost floor is mostly collapsed, as well as the right side of. And I don't mean like the right side from like the middle on. I mean like the side of it, like the side of it's collapsed. So there's still like the bulk of the middle of the building, but
Okay.
kind of that side's kind of collapsed. Demo, were you trying to say anything?
I was curious if you can tell what caused the collapse.
I was gonna say, sorry.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and roll I'll say an investigation check.
Yes, please.
Can I go to the rubble and I want to go to where the wall is damaged and inspect around there to see if I can pick up on any clues?
Okay, we'll get to that part in a second.
Okay.
21.
21. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. To finish the rest of just the little reading for here. So you see this dark octagonal tower that rises above the surrounding architecture, and there's this about maybe a foot high fog that is thick that nestles at your guys' ankles. And out of the fog comes this distant peal of thunder, quickly accompanied by the howling of wolves in the woods below. But the house stands silent, seeming like a fossilized remain of some long dead thing that is smote upon the mountainside. Just outside, when you guys park your wagon, there's this like circular dirt roadway, which in the center of this is perched atop a 10-foot wide and 10-foot tall cube of granite. It has this moss-covered statue of a dragon, its wings kind of tucked close to its body, and the statue looks east towards the mansion. You guys park the wagon, kind of start to step out, and see this stairwell in which the flagstone steps that are flanked by stone railings climb to a landing platform in front of a pair of tall wooden doors that have rusted iron bands and knockers that are shaped like small dragons. Carved into the lintel above the entrance is the word Argynvostholt. Now, Romulus and Dima take the opportunity to just really quickly peel off because there is a side road on the south side of this circle, right? Because the east side's the mansion, and the south side actually bends to that south side of the building. That south side is the right side, okay? So that's what you see to be collapsed. So you kind of peel around and go down to that area while the remainder of the party stays by the front door, and just kind of looking up at this mansion and kind of taking in just everything that's kind of coming from this. And as you guys kind of loop around that right side, you see not only is the side of the building collapsed, but also what appears to have been a small building on the outside as well. And you see that here lie the blackened beams of what was a wooden stable, burned to its stone foundation. Looming above the wreckage is a partially collapsed southern end of the mansion, in which all three of its floors are exposed to the elements. Now, you guys go ahead and roll an investigation check. Nick, you rolled a 21, if I'm right?
Can I...
Dima, you rolled a 21?
Yeah.
Okay, so Romulus, if you want to roll investigation for the rubble as well.
I'd like to make a different roll now. Can I roll an Arcana roll on the charred, like the burn marks on the wooden beams?
You can attempt to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because what the clue that we've had is a dragon, and this kind of, I don't know. When I see the burned beams, that's what it reminds me of. So.
Yep.
I'm trying, like, I'm not metagaming, I swear. Oh fuck. Like a 6?
A 6. Nothing about the charred remains of the stable gives indication that the fire was magical in design. So it does look like real flames have burned down this stable, and it's hard to determine because of how long it seems that this place has been abandoned. It's difficult to really pin down for you immediately, like how this has occurred or how it's related to the collapsed south end of the mansion. There's just not a lot to go off of.
Romulus then
Yep.
Sorry, I was just gonna say he
No,
then ponders if fire from a dragon is even magical. Probably not.
You start kind of like digging through some of the rubble and pulling some of the pieces out just to look at like things and to see if you notice anything like on the outside of stones, like you're seeing for like maybe claw marks or indications of like an explosion or maybe signs of like structural weakness. And you do a pretty thorough job, but find yourself to be still incapable due to time. You imagine time has eroded a lot of the evidence of how this has occurred.
Wait, what are you looking at?
Well. He's looking at the rubble to figure out why the south end is collapsed.
Because if I use my tinker... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Because if I use my tinker tools on something, I can figure out how long ago it's been, like, it was damaged.
Yeah, you absolutely can do that if you want.
And, okay, what should I look at, guys? Because I wasn't paying attention.
I just look at the rubble, just the grouping of rubble here.
Okay, I want to say I have
Helena.
advantage. Hold on. Look.
We need your help, Helena. Please come over here.
She trudges along from that central roadway, bringing her tinker's tools with her so that she can get a collection of much needed equipment that is used to look at this stonework and look at these to figure out, to kind of gauge the time of death is really what she's looking at. Jude, while Helena's making that roll, and then Helena, when you make that roll, just hold on to it for a moment. Don't tell me. Jude, you're over there with Irina, Davian, and Ismark. And Davian kind of looks at you and looks up at the doorway, right? So you think we're going to find the thing that you're looking for here?
I believe so. It's in the prophecy, and I remember the wolf hunters talking about this place.
Prophecy?
I believe this
What
is
are you
most
listening to Vistani now, huh?
the Vistani.
He spits on the ground a little bit. Those dirty, mangy dogs. All of them. That's why we're here?
Oh shit. Well, we're here because of the prophecy. It's kind of the only thing we can go by.
Right.
Wait, am I close enough to hear this?
No, you're gone. He's like, wait, but it's Vistani prophecy. How good can it be? How trustworthy?
They're dirty Vistani.
They're con men.
I told you they're shit.
All of them. They're con men.
Just tell him that, dude.
Well, they're the reason we found you. You were part of the prophecy.
You see for a moment there's like this, like he wants to object to that, but you've also found him, and so he like takes that for a second and goes, I am a part of Vistani prophecy? And he sits down on the steps and you can see he's like taking a moment. Oh my god. Oh, what is happening? You kind of give him a moment to himself. You're like, you know what, buddy, I think you need a moment. And you go and kind of walk off a little bit. And you
And
look
Strahd
off.
sneaks up on him.
You look off to kind of look up at the top of the mansion, just trying to gauge everything that you can see up from the top and really just take in this whole site. And you just begin to hear what feel like whispers in the wind, and they feel like voices. These whispers sound agonized. This like brief kind of like, think of it as like the sound travels like a car driving across the road, and so you hear this like and it's this like shiftingness to it, and it's this pain and this broiling of fear and anguish. The age ranges of these voices shift from that of adults to that of children to that of men and that of women, and you this place feels heavy with pain and loss.
Oh, things.
Ethan, can you play us some what was that sound where the people were like chanting? It was like ooh.
No, I'm not gonna play the Call of Cthulhu soundtrack. Boom. You look around, Jude, fearing that you will see a unwanted follower, and are quite relieved to not see him. I'm kidding, he's right behind. No, I'm just kidding. Psych. Yeah, so going back to Helena and the other group, I just wanted to throw that in there for you, dude. Sorry. Helena,
Ethan, I have an idea.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Okay. Wait, can we roleplay a PTSD moment for Katre? What if I like come up behind Katre and he thinks it's Strahd and he's like, no, not you again, but it's just me. It's like, no, it's okay. Katre, sorry, that just came to my head.
I'll do that when I traumatize him enough.
Oh, okay.
I'll note that one down for after a couple more trauma encounters. But Helena, what do you roll on your Tinker's check?
Real quick. With Tinker's tools, it says that I have proficiency, so I can add my bonus to any ability check.
Correct.
But then if I use it for investigation, I already have a proficiency bonus. So would I add that on top of it?
No, you wouldn't get expertise in it. It just if the skill roll didn't use it, like if I made you roll like a nature check, or if I made you roll like a history check, and you didn't have those, then the Tinker's Tools would enable you to get that proficiency. That is
So
a
it's
great
just
question.
normal. Okay.
That's a great
Then I rolled a
question.
15.
15. You estimate that this place has been destroyed for hundreds of years.
Okay.
Now that tracks to some degree because from what Jude has revealed briefly in this Voctor family genealogy that he has, is that it's been hundreds of years since the Voctors had first sided with Strahd in his conquest of Barovia. So it makes sense that probably immediately after that, one of the very first places that fell would have been this. So yeah, it's been hundreds of years.
Wasn't something like charred?
Yes, the side was charred. And it's been destroyed also for hundreds of years, but it's hard to pinpoint what caused it.
I did get a little bold thinking it was a dragon.
Yeah, very
Okay,
difficult
so-
to gauge what caused this. But you guess it's been like this for hundreds of years.
I'm gonna sigh and relieve and just like wipe my fucking forehead.
Hey, dragons live for like 1,000 years, Omar. Be careful.
Oh, they do? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The ancient ones do.
Okay.
Now that I'm alone with Dima, I'd like to use polymorph and turn him into a rat. Just kidding. I'm gonna keep Dima in my pocket this session.
Can I dodge that?
I mean, you'd have to resist it. It doesn't work.
No, it's
dodge.
okay. I'm trolling.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do?
What? Are there any doors?
There's a main doorway, but also on the side entrance now, because, it's collapsed, every floor is exposed to the elements, and you have a total of 4 floors. The 4th being the topmost floor.
I'd like to
split up yet, though? Or are we still split up, or are we grouped up?
us 3 are together. Jude is by himself.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Wait,
Jude is with Dobby.
I'm with.
I'd like to step into the rubble and kind of I want to look at Helena and Dima from behind, and then I'm gonna grin at them, turn around, step inside, and go, "Hello there!" And I want it to. Is it gonna echo? Will I hear it like echo through the tower?
It's not a tower, mansion, but it does.
Oh,
it does
mansion,
echo.
sorry.
It echoes through that initial first floor, and maybe a little bit of the second. You can hear a bit of the echo from it, kind of reverberating through the openness of the building. And then for Jude and Davian, Ismark, and Irina, you all hear him scream out "Hello there" from the side that he's on, because you guys are pretty close together. You guys are like maybe 30 feet apart.
No one wants to shout anything back at me?
No.
Well, no, I don't. I mean, I want to just turn to everyone else and say, "Okay, come on, my friends, let's go. Let's see what's in the building." And then I just want everyone to group up. Are we all going to go in through the entrance by the rubble, or do we want to do the door?
You have to talk amongst yourself and figure it out.
I say we just go through the rubble right here, my friends. It obviously does not seem like anybody's in there.
I'm already past the rubble. I'm not sure what you're waiting on. Come on.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna follow him through then, unless anyone objects.
Oh, wait, Ethan, before I catch up to them, can I inspect the statue? Is it...
Oh, yeah, the
Does it
dragon.
have any importance or anything?
Yeah, I wanted to know what that was about.
Yeah, if you guys want to go back to the statue first.
I just want to glance at it.
I'll go back with
this is
you,
the benefit
unless we're all-
of talking about what you guys are going to do as a group instead of just doing it. It works out really well that way. So where is everyone? I need to have an understanding of where people are.
Okay.
I was at the rubble. That's where I.
But you're going back to the statue.
Right.
Okay, so Dima, are you going back to the statue as well?
Well, because I forgot about the dragons. I did want to go see the dragon statue, so can I assume that if I was to walk back towards Jude and all of them, that I would have seen the dragon statue, and Helena would have gone with me, right? So we would have either gone and met them at the dragon statue, or gone and got them.
Yes, because Jude and Davian are by the front steps, which is closest to the dragon statue.
So,
They're
yeah,
by
so
the
we
front door.
and meet them there, because I want to look at that too. And before we do that, though, I want to tell Romulus, my friend, there was the coolest dragon statue. You want to come see it real quick? And if not, just wait here. We'll be right back, and we'll go in behind you.
Oh, well, I've seen enough dragon patrony. Is that their? I don't know. Fucking, I've seen enough dragon worshipping in my time. You can go check out the statue. I'll stay here.
I'll be right back, and then I'll go with Helena.
Okay. As you guys head back, Romulus, you are kind of looking into a room that there's much rubble that's strewn throughout much of this very vast chamber, this first floor chamber, and it's caused by partial collapse from the rooms that were above it. On the floor, you see there's this pink marble that's dusted from time, and there's a fallen chandelier, a set of chandeliers that lie amid broken chairs and other furnishings, in which you begin to see a thick webbing that stretched from wall to wall and just stretching across the place.
I already got off work, Ethan. I don't want to deal with another spider.
That's what you see. That is what you see.
It's spider time.
You don't see any. You do see a couple doors on the north wall. There's 3 sets of double doors, but they're all closed, and everything's webbed.
I'm gonna pick up like a piece of stone from the rubble, and I want to like a small piece of stone, like one that won't disturb, not very heavy, and maybe like 5 pounds, and I'm gonna toss it at the web to see if I can like trigger the web at all.
Yeah. So you kind of hurl this stone, and it gets stuck to the webbing, very adhesive, and it shakes and jiggles.
Oh wow!
And when that happens, you just begin to hear this like, and you start to hear the as this massive, and I mean massive, compared to you, just set of giant legs begins to slowly make its way to that, not seeing any prey caught within the webs, just looks at the stone perched in a corner. It's big, very big, and you see it's alone, but it's massive, very off-putting.
I'm gonna stay very still, and I'm going to try and cast polymorph on it.
Okay. And what are you going to attempt to polymorph this?
Oh, no. A harmless house spider.
Got it. So you basically want to reduce its size, is what you're really hoping to do.
And yeah, make it harmless, pretty much.
Okay. Do you have a specific spider?
But I want to make it big enough to where I could put it into a jar, like an empty glass, like an empty potion bottle.
Do you have a specific spider in mind?
Fuck it. I'll just do a tarantula. Those guys are pretty chill.
Yeah, that is a fair point. Oh, she moved my dice.
Hey, putting a potion.
Oh no.
She put my dice.
Hey, okay, yard.
There. Hold on.
Oh, guys, while he's doing that, check out my dice tray, dude.
No, Willie.
Dude, come on, dude.
All right. Sorry about that. So the spider, I know, has to make a saving throw in order for this to happen. Right? And this is a concentration spell for you?
It is.
Okay.
For an hour.
What's the saving throw that this spider has to make?
Fuck. That's 8 plus my proficiency plus my spell attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, 16.
16. And
yeah.
It's a wisdom save, if I'm right?
Let me check. Polymorph. 5e. I hope spiders don't have good wisdom. Yeah, it is.
Okay. You go ahead and begin the magical incantation in hopes of taking what is this ginormous, huntsman looking spider, and to polymorph it into a more traditional sized tarantula. After the spell is cast, you begin to see the very thin legs kind of bulk out a little bit. You see they get a little bit more fuzzy. You see the abdomen begins to swell. And then the body, after it changes shape, begins to shrink. And so it shrinks into the size of this tiny, big for a spider, right? Big for a spider, but not massive. Kind of a normal-sized tarantula now sitting in the corner. And it just starts walking around.
I'd like to quickly grab an empty bottle and scoop it up.
Okay.
Like an empty like potion
Go
bottle or
ahead
something.
and make an animal handling check for me, please.
Okay.
And I would probably, well, no, just make the animal handling check. We're good.
Okay. Animal handling is wisdom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I got a 19.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you guys don't even know. I bet you none of you remember the last time I tried doing anything like this, dude. Ethan, do
I
you
do.
remember?
I do.
I have so much power in my hands. Dude, I've got a Pokeball right now, and if I throw this, the glass is gonna shatter.
He
It's
has
gonna
a
cut
spider
the
grenade. He has a spider
It's,
grenade.
dude,
Guys.
it's gonna explode into the
I
big
just
spider.
want you to know.
You know?
He did this with a fire giant, and he turned it into a giant. He turned it into a beetle.
The fire ant.
Yeah,
I
a
turned it. I
fire
thought I
ant.
turned
He
it into a fire ant.
and then he threw it at someone. So
Okay.
yes.
I don't think I'll have to throw it at someone. I think I'll have to figure out something to do with it.
Yeah. But you're gonna go back to the party.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
gonna say anything
How
though.
long does polymorph last? By the way.
An hour. It lasts an hour. So Ethan, please, please just give me a countdown. Like if I'm getting close, I'm gonna ditch the thing. Like I don't want the spider anymore.
All right. Time
So-
to start a clock.
Okay.
Boom.
Should I be looking at the timer right now too, or
You
or
can if you want.
is it gonna be an exact hour from now?
We'll see.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, do your best. So, do you start making your way back to the party?
I do.
Okay, so you make your way back, and so we'll get to that because they're going to go back and they're looking at the statue. So, for the rest of you, so Dima and Helena, you guys make your way back over to Jude. Jude is currently looking at the statue. Jude, what was it that you wanted to look at with that statue?
I just wanted. I kind of wanted to get. I guess just a basic investigation from it.
Okay. Go ahead and make an. Well, to investigate what? What are you looking for?
Well, initially I wanted to, because we learned the history of Argynvostholt.
Yeah, Argynvost is the name of the dragon. Argynvostholt is the name of the mansion.
Yeah, so I assume it's a statue of Argynvost.
That's a good assumption.
Can I just look at the statue itself, like what it's made out of, what
Made out of
old it might be?
granite.
Granite.
Mhm.
Do I know how old?
Hundreds of years.
Oh, shit.
Do we know why it's pointing east?
It's looking at the mansion.
Do I sense any magic from it?
You do not.
Statue. Ooh, is there any weird contraptions on it?
Nope.
No writing.
No.
Absolutely nothing special about it.
Decorative.
Well, yeah. I guess.
We should tip it over. We should tip it over. It's not if anything
It
happens.
is massive. The granite cube that the dragon statue sits on is 10 feet tall.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
Well, no. The dragon statue starts 10 feet on a granite cube. So it's 10 foot of granite cube, and then more statue.
Damn. We gotta spell
Massive.
How big is this?
You probably imagine maybe about another 10 feet, maybe 10, 15. So it's probably like 20, 25 feet total. From ground to top of the dragon throw. Yeah, it bears a resemblance to a silver dragon, which kind of matches up with Argynvost being a silver dragon.
Isn't that a chromatic dragon?
Metallic. Chromatics
Or
are
metallic?
colors. Yeah, chromatics are all
Oh,
colors.
sorry. That makes sense. Chromatic, metallic. Yeah,
No.
that makes sense.
Yeah, after a little while, you guys see Romulus is kind of hurrying over to you. He's fidgeting with his pouch and kind of just tightening it up a little bit, and it makes his way back to you guys.
I do look a little anxious, like a little off guard. Like, but I'm like trying to compose myself. I'm not really letting it out, but I am a little jittery. Just like maybe it looks like I'm a little spooked at best. Well, Did you all figure out anything with the statue over here?
No, it's just a normal fucking statue. There's nothing special about it.
Oh, so you got to marvel at the art. Wonderful. Well, I found a spider.
Ooh.
And where did you kill it?
Oh no, I caught it.
Oh, just a normal spider, or
No, it was massive. It was quite large.
so? How did you catch it?
Oh well, it's right here. And then I'm gonna like kind of hold the little.
Yeah.
I'm gonna immediately back up.
It's a pretty big tarantula, like in this jar. He's just got this big spider in a jar.
I don't like
So
spiders.
how did you fit? I mean, it is a giant spider, but it's
Quite large.
It's not-
Yeah, it's quite.
Sure.
It is quite large for a tarantula. It's a pretty big spider.
I mean, it fits quite well in as a pendant with my spell focus, my oracle little globe. It works. It looks quite well when I'm casting spells, and the little spider is dangling.
So, do you just like collect bugs then?
No, I should probably get rid of this one. I don't think I should collect this one.
I could stomp on it if you like.
No, no. I think we should avoid that. No, we shouldn't. No, it's. I'll release it. It's fine. When the time's right. I mean, you never know. We might need it. It's
Yeah. We need a little spider.
Anyways, I think the mansion might be safe, but I didn't want to go any farther without you all. So, I think I probably cleared it out with this spider here.
Oh yeah, no, you cleared it out with just that little spider.
Well, but before you mock me any longer, can we just further explore the mansion?
Yeah, let's see if we can catch any more spiders.
Oh, you'll be glad I caught this spider, all right? And trust me, you'd be glad.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
why.
follow
I'm a
Romulus.
Being silly goofy. All right. No one else cared. No one else had any thoughts about the spider.
No, as long as there's no more, I am all good. I do not like spiders.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say there's no more. The house was quite creepy, but I mean, it was a large spider. I couldn't imagine there'd be a lot of contenders in there. So we're good to go. Sorry, I'm just making this more complicated. I believe we're good to go. If not, we have to go inside anyways. So let's go. Woohoo!
Let's stick together.
I agree.
Okay, so in what direction are you guys entering this mansion?
Let's
I'm not
wait.
the author, dude.
I think I've cleared out the spider entrance. Let's go in through there.
I agree.
I'm gonna chuckle as I'm walking with it.
Look at my as she's laughing at me. I'm gonna just kind of like hold the spider, and while we're like walking, all like giddy, like look at what I fucking got. Just not caring.
Yeah, I'm not taking Romulus seriously. He said he cleared the entire room and there's a little ass spider in a jar. I mean, it's a big spider, but you know.
As you guys are walking, Jude, Davian kind of like nudges you a little bit and he goes, your little spider friend, he's a queer little fellow, huh?
Well, sorry, I just got so taken away. He is quite cute, but you should have seen him 10 minutes ago. He was quite the ferocious beast, not one to be trifled with.
Yes, correct. I believe you. Yes.
Would you like to hold him? He's
Definitely
quite friendly.
not. No. I'm all good, thank you.
Listen in on this
Appreciate
conversation.
Oh yeah, you guys are all walking together. It would help if you're not like, having your eyes roll into the back of your head.
I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I bet. And if you think more, we're gonna see you. So long.
Oh, you know what, man?
You guys walk.
You just made me cough so aggressively my cat got startled.
Damn, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So you guys walk up to the first floor side, and again, you see the entire place is just full of webbing. You see the pink marble floor that's all covered in dust. You see the furnishings that are all destroyed from the collapse of the roofs above it. You see the 3 sets of doors that are on the left side of they're all on the same wall. So it's on the wall opposite of you. And it leads to the interior of the building. There's one on the left side in the corner, one on the right, or one directly in the middle, and one on the right side in the corner. They all go to the same side. So they're not splitting off into different directions. They're on the opposite wall. There's 3 doors, left, middle, and right. You guys walk through and have a little bit of difficulty walking through the thick webbing, which is very adhesive, so it kind of sticks.
I have a sickle. I can slash my way through.
Yeah, well, you can cut some of it, but like when it's on the floor, it's hard to like clear it. So if there's things that you need to clear out of the way,
can I burn it?
You could burn it. That is an option. You have a way to burn it.
I'm gonna say, all of this webbing was built by this spider right here.
Right.
It is a lot of webbing, by the way, that like is a little bit concerning if that's the spider that was capable of doing it. So, it's like everything is webbed, and it's thick webbing.
You should insight check me and see if I think I'm telling the truth or not.
Okay, yeah, I'll insight him.
No, we know you're lying.
I don't.
And I wanted to ask, do I not like pick up on the fact that he said a giant spider in Barovia? Like I feel like would Dima know about that being a thing, or is that not very common?
You haven't seen a giant spider before.
No, and I've never heard about one either.
Yeah.
Damn.
You've been spending your time being drunk in Barovia.
Throw this spider at Strahd's castle? Holy fuck.
No, he'll just like rub his hand and he'll just fucking
Strahd will walk up and just bitch smack it. And the spider
but I rolled
will
an
like
18.
An
so.
18. Oh yeah, dude, he is like very excited by the fact that this spider was capable, which gives you like a little bit of a tell. Like there's something off about that spider in his hand. That's probably not. That's probably not the spider he's talking about, and yet it is.
Is it meta knowledge for my character to know that a tarantula doesn't make webs?
That's actually a nature roll. If you want to roll a nature roll.
Nice. 15.
15. I would say that's not good enough because this is spider knowledge, very acute level of a specific type of knowledge. To know which types of spiders make webbing and which ones don't, I would say would be a little bit more on the more difficult end of knowledge. So I would say that you don't know that tarantulas are incapable of making webs.
Well, now I'm just stuck, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obvious. Even a passive perception passive insight of 10 could tell that he's incredibly excited that he has this spider in a jar. Yeah.
I totally thought I really thought I was a goner. I thought I was dead, but it worked. I mean, I'm surprised I caught it in this little jar. It was shocking.
So will it escape or will it? You said it was giant, so
I mean, it shouldn't escape now as long as I watch it for a little while and I mean I'll need to get rid of it eventually, but as long as I watch it and manage my time with it well, it shouldn't it's nothing bad should happen.
Please just keep that away from me.
Oh, all right. I understand that. So I'll kind of tuck it away in my pocket.
See, Davian kind of walks up and goes, "So, we've got 3 doors ahead of us. Which one do we pick?"
The left door.
I was gonna say we just
Go to left door.
I'm gonna open the jar, and I'm gonna see what door the spider pit. Actually, I'm just gonna set the jar on the ground, and I'm gonna see what door the direction the spider tries to walk in.
Oh, the spider just nestles at the bottom of the jar. It just kind of balls up.
Oh, I really thought that was gonna work.
Davian's like walking to the left door. He's like, all right, left door, you said it. And he kind of walks over and starts to smack at it with his staff a little bit and he kind of goes a little hybrid for a moment and, with his claws and starts to rip at some of the webbing that's on the doors and starts to really rip it off. And after getting enough of it, he actually knocks the door down because it's so old. He doesn't mean to. He starts smacking it with his quarterstaff, and it just, the hinges, the wood's rotted, and it just falls. And with this loud, like, goosh, and this poof of dust. And he goes, I pushed door. It opened.
I'm gonna cast light.
Okay. Go ahead and cast light and conjure up this light so you guys can see a little bit more clearly.
On the jar.
You guys can, cast it in the jar. The spore spider. He's like, oh, my eyes! Cast it, the spider's just like panicking, just all over the place. And so you go through the left door and make your way into the interior of the mansion. And now this room that you're in, this room is quite big, and it feels like a king's tomb. Now, from your entryway, there's a grand staircase now kind of on your right in the middle of the room that leads upward to stone balconies that are held aloft by stone pillars and arches. There's this tall, faded tapestry that depicts a nobleman in silver armor that hangs from an iron rod above the staircase landing. Now, there are 6 sets of double doors that lead from this foyer. 3 of them are on your side of the room. Along the walls, displayed on marble pedestals, are 3 alabaster busts of handsome men. A 4th bust and its pedestal has been knocked over, and their shattered remains lie strewn across the mosaic floor. There are 2 chandeliers of wrought iron that hang from the ceiling like monstrous black spiders. A great shadow, as you guys begin to walk in, with wings, moves across the walls, disappearing with this soft bestial hiss in the darkness. The light kind of tracing it from Romulus's light spell, following it as if it's fleeing from it, as it sifts across the wall. And I don't mean something that's more corporeal from the wall. It looks as if it's on the wall and is moving on the wall, this shadow, this winged shadow, and as quickly as it moves from one side of the wall, it sinks into another corner, leaving the room very ominous and very empty, and yet very dark in its feel and its atmosphere. Romulus, because you're more attuned to the spiritual realm, to the telling of spirits, to the stories that they have, I need you to go ahead and make a wisdom save for me.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, man.
14? Or sorry, yeah, 14. Because I was adding the jester, but it's a 3 right now, so it's still only a 1.
Well, this keeps up.
Or the jack of all trades. Sorry.
You begin to hear whispers that kind of flow throughout the room, voices of conversations, words you can't make out because they're spoken in some like archaic Barovian dialect, but the conversations seem brotherly, conversations with camaraderie tones.
I'm gonna use tongues
of relational understanding.
Is
tongues a concentration spell?
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
So, to sacrifice for this knowledge so that you don't unleash your spider grenade, you sit there and just listen and just hear friendly, relational, camaraderie, brotherly conversations in a dialect you don't know. But this place is heavy with spirits. Untold stories that have not been given rest, which means untold levels of actual spirits, of men and women who have passed, who have not been properly put to rest.
Tongues is not concentration. Tongues last for an hour, but it's not concentration. Okay. Polymorph specifies concentration, and it's up to an hour.
Yeah,
but tongues doesn't. So, tongues does not.
You cast tongues so that you can understand everything that you're hearing. And the conversations are in again, it's an archaic Barovian dialect, but it's conversations that are between members of a knight order. And so there are conversations that relate to escapades that they've gone on. It's conversations that relates to their hopes, their dreams, their ambitions. It's conversations relating to some of their worries and their doubts that test their faith and test their mettle and their resolve and their resiliency. And then the encouragements that come from their brothers and sisters that encourage them to push past those doubts, that encourage them to stand tall. Everything in service of this Argynvost. The conversations begin to shift a little bit after that, becoming a little bit more sour, a little bit more worrisome. You hear the name Strahd mentioned repeatedly. The conversations adding voices of concern, of impending doom, of extinction, of untold levels of massacre and death. You hear one name repeated that stands out, and it's Sergei. Sergei, Sergei, Sergei. The voices seem to lament his death. You also hear not really reports, but the conversation shifts in a manner that mark Strahd's initial steps of his conquest of Barovia. Towns going silent, Kretsk, hearing nothing from Kretsk, the Abbey falling silent, the Druids of Gulthius falling silent, and just you get this idea that what Strahd was capable of doing was so fast that the knights had no one to turn to before Strahd finally was on their doorstep. And so the unrest spirits have been remaining here since their untimely death.
I'm gonna take a deep breath, kind of audibly, everyone can kind of hear that. And I'm gonna say that there's a lot of lost souls here, but they want the same thing as us. Strahd is their enemy. I think we should be safe here. I think whatever spirits are here, I think we can get them on our side.
If they hate Strahd, then I think so.
I start to question if there's an enemy Strahd hasn't made here in Barovia.
Vima's parents or mother.
But I'm sure he had to kill them to take the throne too, as Vampire King. Sorry, but you all did see those shadows running, flying, whatever you want to call it, by, though, did you all?
I want to say yeah.
The shadow on the wall?
Yeah.
You all saw it?
Yeah.
You all heard
we
it
did.
too.
Okay.
But do I believe it? I don't know.
That's up to you.
Belief is...
You did see it. You did hear it. It's up to you.
Not you, too, man. I want.
Well, should we follow that?
Davian kind of pipes up. Davian kind of pipes up and goes, "Now listen. I've journeyed with the four of you for about a 10-day now, and I'm convinced that the four of you are brain dead when it comes to figuring out what we should do next and how we should do it. Now we're here for a purpose, right? We're here for a goal, to get something. That was a question, right? That was a question you're supposed to answer.
No, of course.
Okay, so if I were that item, where would I be? And then that is where we go.
You know, that's a great question. If we fucking knew where it was.
Right, so we have to think. If I were item that was super important to killing Strahd in this mansion, where would I be?
I would be by the weird shadow creatures following across the wall.
Well, it's not on. Do you see item on wall? I don't see item on wall. I see balcony. Do you want to go up to the balcony?
Let's check an office. Is there? Maybe there's an office that he had, or like
office.
a library or
office
something.
Study. So we're looking for rooms that belong to owner of mansion, right?
Or a secret chamber.
Or secret chamber. We can look for a secret chamber. See? Now we're thinking. Alright. So we're looking for locations that might have importance to the owner and seeing if we can find something in those places.
That's what we're here for?
I don't know. I might as well go home at that point. So, where should we move? Listen, I know Barovian architecture. Important places are going to be, and he points up. As he says, like, important places.
In heaven?
No, on the higher floors. There's 4 floors. We go upstairs. But I don't see staircases other than the one right here, right? I don't see another staircase that goes to floor 3. So we either have to find another staircase, or we can find a way to go from outside. Floor 3 was open from out there. So we got to figure out how to go high. Floor 2, floor 3, floor. One of those floors is going to have probably what you're looking for. This is probably all for guests.
Let's start from the top and work our way down. Let's go to floor 4.
We have to figure out how to get up there.
Yes, we got to figure out how to get everyone up there. It'll be a little difficult.
Well, there's a staircase, isn't there?
Probably.
Well, there's a staircase that leads to floor 2. We would need to find a staircase that leads to floor 4. Which we
alright.
can find. That could be first objective. Look for staircase.
Staircase. Alright, let's look for a staircase.
Awesome. Do we want to split up or no?
Yes, let's split up.
Okay, perfect. We split up. How are we splitting up?
Let's split up, Dima,
I think personally, Helena and I should be on different teams. Because we are both very physical. So, worst comes to worst, I turn into bird. Helena pull out sword and stab stuff, right?
Sure.
Great.
What he's saying is, I'm team captain and he's team captain. You know,
We're
gonna
do
choose
not
who
want
we
to be in
want
charge
on
of any of you numbskulls at all.
As long as it's not, Dima. I'm alright. No, I'm kidding. Alright,
Yes.
Katray, fuck. What's your character's name again? I'm sorry. Doesn't it start with a P, Katray? What's your character's name?
It's Jay, bro.
Jay? Oh, Jude. It's Jude. Jude, would you like to be with who would you like to be with here?
Come
Well,
on, you know me, Jude. We've known each other for a long time.
I just wanted to say, I think Romulus had the same idea. We definitely want to split up as the only spellcaster.
Or
Who's coming with me?
maybe
I'll take Jude and Romulus
we'll
to
do
go with
team-
Birdbrain.
Okay.
Team captains.
So where does Dima go?
Jude's been picked. Now Dima
right.
or sorry, not Jude.
Yes, but
Shall
Spirit Man, you're coming with me.
Darwin,
Sure.
shall we flip a coin?
Sure.
For the last.
I call Beak. Then he pulls out a raven coin. And it's beaks or wings. So you got them on wings, okay?
Okay.
Dude's got his own roleplay currency, dude. What the hell?
I'm gonna roll a d20. On an odd, it's beak. On an even, it's wings. Okay.
No, not you, Ethan. I meant why the hell does he have a raven coin? Did he make that himself?
Yeah, probably. It's fine. It rolls an 11, so it's on beak. So he wins, and he goes, I guess I get Dima.
very nice.
So you're on Team Birdman.
Team Birdman.
Yes.
Alright.
Alright. So we look for staircase, and if you find staircase, we must alert rest of party. So if you find staircase, this is empty building, just say, I found staircase, like really, really loud.
Wait, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the teams are fair. I've got this spider here. I think we should give it to Jude and
Yeah,
and
no,
Helena.
I told you.
If you want to give them your pet spider, that's fine. I don't care.
Jude.
No.
You want to leave it
Will
here?
you please, Jude? Will you please take this? It'll make me feel better if knowing that you have the spider with you.
Dude,
Alright.
say no, please.
Hey.
I don't want to deal with spiders right now.
Our parties are not evenly balanced right now. If with the spider and me on this team, we're too powerful, and I want you to take this so that I know you all are safe.
I respect how much you care about this spider, but
No, it's you. It's not the spider. I care about you, Jude. I want you to be safe. I need you to take this spider.
Yeah, he is safe. He's with me. so he doesn't have to worry.
Tarantula.
Oh, all right. Well, this tarantula will save your life one day, Jude. All right, but I respect your wishes, and I will hold on to it.
Ethan, before we split up, I wanna establish the psychic communication with the other party or the other half of the party.
Yeah. So with Helena.
Yeah. So we don't have to shout because because they can just talk telepathically to me,
Okay. Perfect.
and I can talk
Give
to
yourself
them.
Dima.
Wait, so I'm gonna do the two of them. I'm gonna do the two of them, and then I'm also gonna do. I'll do Jude too, I guess.
Yeah. You also could do Ismark if you wanted, because he's outside.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
So that you can tell him anything if you need to.
Yeah, all right, I'll do that. I'll do that instead of Jude.
Okay. Go ahead and give yourself a point of inspiration for eliminating any potential. I'm not saying there was. I'm not saying there wasn't. Potential problems with shouting out loud in this mansion.
Guys, there's more enemies. There's more enemies.
Dude, I'm
Sorry.
rolling. Dude, I have
Creative. That's a creative thing to eliminate in an abandoned, spooky mansion.
Thank you.
Don't
So,
worry, I already
inspiration
took care
for
of the
dealing with
enemy
that.
here.
Guys, I beat the dungeon boss. I am the dungeon boss. Okay, so you guys split up into different directions. Now, in order to look for the staircase that leads further up into the mansion, Davian's going to go ahead and take his group up to floor 2, which leaves floor 1 for Helena and Jude. So I need Helena, and then I'm going to let Romulus, because Romulus is kind of like the player charge out of the group, roll an initiative roll. And whoever rolls higher is which group goes first.
Captains, man.
Obviously no bonuses, right?
Davian has a +5 to his initiative roll, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think we go first anyways, because I've got all of my luck into this. I got a nat 20, so.
Okay, perfect.
So did I. No.
Don't worry, I'll never roll a nat 20 the rest of the
Roll.
That's crazy. Okay, so then we'll start with Davian and Romulus and Dima. You guys walk up the staircase, finding that portrait, right? So there's that tapestry that kind of hangs from the iron rod that's at the top of the staircase, the one that depicts the nobleman in silver armor, which you imagine is the human form of Argynvostholt. Now, you make your way up to the platform, and then up the second set of staircases in order to get to the second floor, in and of itself. And upon hitting the top of the landing, you see that there are two stone balconies that flank the main foyer. There are balusters that are carved to resemble knights in shining armor that support their very elegantly carved stone railings, as well as weapons and shields that festoon the walls along each of these walkways, with alabaster busts of very handsome men that flank hallways that lead north and south away from the foyer.
There's a lot of handsome men in this house.
That there is. At the west end of each balcony is an archway that leads to a spiral staircase going up.
Oh, sweet, dude, we found the staircase. Okay. So I guess as I enter the room, I want to kind of hold my hand out to the side of me as I walk by Dima.
You basically are just on the balcony level of the main foyer. You're still in the same foyer. You're just up. So it's big, fancy, theaters, right? How there's that entry room, and you could think of a stadium. You could go upstairs to start going to other areas of the theater. You guys are in the same room, just up. So honestly, you guys could just lean over, and be like, "Hey, stairs."
First, I guess as we go up, I want to put my hand out to the side of me, kind of trembling a little bit, and I want to look at Dima, when your girlfriend is standing next to you and wants you to hold their hand, and they're just looking at you, and that's what I'm gonna do to Dima.
Oh no, man! Alright, I'll do it, but I'm gonna do it very, very, very. I don't know what the word would be for it, man. Very Barovianly.
I'm not sure what dangers lie at that staircase, but we should get the party. I'm a little worried. Okay. I'm gonna kind of.
I'm gonna rush you.
You're gonna. Okay.
Rush you. I put
pushes me over the balcony.
Now we can go up the stairs.
Oh.
Do you get your companions?
But we want to make sure it actually goes up, right? Like, does it actually go up?
Oh, yeah. You walk up to... So there's a staircase on either end of the foyer, and there's spiral staircases that go up.
Okay, yeah. At that point, then I'm going to telepathically tell Helena and Jude, hey guys, I think we may have found the stairs if you guys want to come the way that we went. And then
I'm heading there now. And then
once I send them that super dope, awesome message, I want to go and walk up the stairs.
Okay. So, Helena and Jude, as you guys were getting ready...
I want to call Romulus and what's his name to come up with me.
Yeah. So, Helena and Jude, we'll just have you go into one of the rooms that's nearby before they go and find that staircase to kind of put you in a different location. And you walk through one of the double doors that's on the first floor, trying to go to what would be the north end of the mansion, hoping that maybe there's a staircase on the side, because there are those big circular towers that are in the corners. And when you go through the first set of doors, you see that there's this wood-paneled den that appears to have been ransacked. Its furnishings are tossed about, in which this cold and dark hearth dominates the west wall between two very narrow windows. Standing upright against the north wall is a sarcophagus made of very black wood with a queen's effigy carved into its lid.
Ew.
Don't open that. Dude, that's got evil
A
spirits.
fire erupts in the dead hearth and assumes this draconic form. It hisses and cackles and unfurls its smoky wings. And I need the two of you to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Motherfucker.
You guys found her. I wanted to go to the top floor, and you guys found her at the bottom.
I should have used my divine sense.
18, dude. Wait, Ethan. Ethan.
I'm listening.
I'm gonna use my portent on whatever thing we're about to fight.
Okay.
I won't. So whatever your initiative is, take a nat 1.
Okay.
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 Oh, thank God.
Dick.
Yeah, I rolled a 6.
Guess we should have taken the spider.
All right.
Like,
Can I take an inspiration from you for being an asshole? I'm just kidding. Okay, so Jude, what did you roll?
I got a 21.
21. Jude, you go first. So the fire erupts in the dead hearth, right? A fireplace. And it assumes a draconic form. This form hisses, it crackles, and it unfurls its smoky wings. I want you to think like the Balrog from Lord of the Rings, how it's flame, but when it moves, smoke emanates from it and not fire, right? It's not leaving a trail of fire, it leaves a trail of smoke. That same thing happens here. Now, the dragon hasn't moved. It hasn't flown out from the hearth. It just crackles and it unfurls its smoky wings and sits there with this kind of ominousness to it. Jude, you're up first. What do you want to do?
no corpse head.
I'm gonna cast haste on Helena.
Okay.
Cool.
So you cast haste on Helena, which speedens her up, giving her a +2 to her armor class, giving her a second action, giving her double her movement speed.
Dude, you just buffed me the fuck out of me.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah.
Wait, does it increase my movement speed too?
It doubles
Yes,
it.
it doubles your movement speed.
So then wouldn't my thing be, instead of 60, it'd be
120.
If you dash, yeah. Dashing would be 120 feet of movement.
But the thing is that I also have that aura where I can, my walking speed increased by 10, right? So does that mean anything or no?
Whatever your movement speed, your base level of movement speed is, it's doubled. So if your movement speed is like 40 because you have that +10, then it would be 80.
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. Okay. Also, Katray, you do have 40 movement speed since you're right next to me.
Also, Katray, that's so toxic, forcing a nat 1 roll while rolling a 21 for initiative.
Straight up asshole. You're so fucked up.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you would have 40 feet of walking speed, which would give you an 80 foot of just base walking speed. 160 if you choose to dash.
Oof. Okay.
Technically, it would give you 240 feet of movement if you choose to double dash because you have 2 actions while you're hasted. So.
Oh wait, wait! Does that mean I can attack 4 times?
No, with the second
Oh.
hasted action, you can only use one attack. It does specify. in the
Okay.
spell.
Okay. I thought it. Okay. I wasn't sure.
Pretty sure. Let me double check. I'm positive it does. Haste, willing creature, double. That action can only be used to make the attack. It says one weapon attack only. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right. But it is still Jude's turn. You've just used your action. Anything else you want to do?
How do I go? Double checking everything. Nah.
Okay. Helena, you're up.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt
Okay.
on this creature, but I'm gonna do it at level 2.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Make a spell attack roll.
Please. 23.
23. That hits. Just go ahead and roll damage.
All right, so I gotta roll 5 d6 because I made it into a
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. 24 points of damage, of radiant damage.
Okay. As the guiding bolt slams into this smoky fire, like draconic form that's in the fireplace, it impacts. The fire absorbs into itself, and there's a brief moment of silence while this mote of flame sits in the hearth before the two of you hear failures, and then it explodes into the full room. So I need the two of you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please. You guys get a bonus to your saving throw because of Helena. You get her charisma modifier.
Oh yeah.
You're not even 6 foot tall. What kind of dragon are you retarded? Dragonborn do more like Dragon Kid.
That's what happens when you use a fire move on a fire Pokemon. It just absorbs it and then gets a stronger fire attack.
It did destroy it, yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, Guiding Bolt is radiant damage, so it did destroy it.
You said
it's
we have
radiant.
advantage, right?
No, you get your modifier to the roll.
Yeah, the
You
modifier.
get to add Helena's
Oh, that's-
charisma modifier.
That's plus 3, Katray.
Damn.
Yep.
That's a good bonus.
What'd you roll, Helena?
It was low. It was 8.
8. You take 22 points of fire damage.
Ripped.
Damn.
And you said it was a dex save?
Yes.
Okay. I rolled
I'm sorry.
Oh.
22.
Okay, you take 11 points of fire damage.
You said
You
it's
went
plus 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys are still mind connected with Dima, too.
Yeah.
Like, you guys could still communicate with
After
us.
the explosion happens, that's when you hear Dima say, "Hey, we found a staircase. Make it back up here."
Do they hear that explosion or no? Since they're
They
on
do
the
not.
3rd floor.
They did not hear it.
Oof. Okay, so this thing committed suicide and blew itself up.
No, you killed it, and then it blew up.
Oh.
After it called you to failures.
Yeah, really.
Says you.
At least we know now.
That you're a failure?
So, was there anything in this room that was of great importance besides that
Not anymore.
sarcophagus?
The whole room was torched, basically, in this explosion.
Oh.
But you guys make your way back out, go up the stairwell to head up to the platform where you see the staircases that Dima and Romulus were talking about. Now, Dima and Romulus are not in sight as they've already ascended the stairwell. Davian stayed behind to say, hey, I'll make sure that they get to the right staircase. So he's on the north side of the building. You guys walk over to him, and he sees that you guys are kind of smoky with flame, and he's like, "What the hell happened to you?"
A failure blew itself up. It was a winged creature. I cast Guiding Bolt, and then it just blew itself up and called us failures right before.
We were not apart for more than, at least A minute? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
it just
swear,
happened.
The four of you are a magnet for curiosities. This is insane. Yeah, alright, they have gone up, so we have to go follow them and not get too far apart. So let's go head up the stairs, and he begins to walk, and you guys begin to follow. Dima and Romulus, as you guys begin to head up the staircase, you reach a portion of the third floor. You get past the top of the stairwell. It ends on the third floor, and there's a stone door that you can see on your side. And so you open it up and assume that it's probably a secretive door that goes into the actual third floor that is not visible from the outside, but is visible from your side. So you open it up, and from here you see that the roof of the mansion has obviously very much collapsed into this part of the room. There's this 20-foot diameter gaping hole with broken rafters that are bisecting it. There are dark storm clouds that roll across the sky that are overhead, and the floor is piled with rocks, broken tiles, shattered beams, and other debris. Beneath the rubble lies a sagging floor and puddles of rainwater. And all you hear is this brief
I'm gonna immediately try to see where I'm gonna stand still, but I want to see if I can see where it's coming from.
It sounds like it's coming from the wall next to you on your right, as if it's inside the room. So there's probably destroyed rubble that allows the sound to carry around, but it sounds very close.
I'm gonna whisper to Dima, tell them to be quiet when they come up here.
Davian is kind of behind you, and he goes, "No, you could just tell us. We're right behind you." He turns around and goes, "Shh."
So we're all together now?
Yep. And on the third floor.
I'm gonna whisper to Helena. Will you please go check in that room and see if there's anything dangerous in there? Just you're quite stealthy, so I figured you'd be the best at it, not giving us away.
Are you a fool? I'm literally wearing heavy armor right now.
Oh, really?
Can I cast? Yes, I'm a fucking paladin.
I thought you were stealthy.
Davian raises a hand. I could do it. I'm a little. I could burn.
Before you change into.
Oh, it's Jude. Jude's the stealthy one.
Let me see if I can sense them, and I want to cast Divine Sense.
Okay. You detect, because I can't tell you specific types. I can just tell you classification of being.
Right.
You detect an undead behind that wall.
All right. So there's an undead. I can only sense one. For all I know is that there's a undead on the other side.
Vampire.
Not sure how strong. I don't think it's a vampire.
And you all hear the
you
sound
heard it
too.
breathe.
It sounds like a pained and ragged breathing that's like wheezing almost. This.
I'm gonna try and quietly sneak up to the door that it's at.
Well, no, it's not. So there's no door. It's in the same room. It's just there's rubble around.
It's like a different
room, there's a wall, so you could sneak around it. That's fine. You just have to make stealth roll, because you're trying to sneak up to where a door would be. I just that part when you crest the corner. But yeah, make a stealth roll if you want to walk up there.
Can I sneak with?
You may.
Yeah, come.
Davian's gonna go with you as well.
Come.
But he's gonna go in as a bird, so he just.
I got an unnatural 20.
Okay.
Can I use lay on hands on myself?
You absolutely can.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot to upgrade my lay on hands every time we leveled up.
I was like, Omar's a rogue. Omar's gonna stealthily walk up to this ghoul and figure out. Jude's the rogue. Omar's the paladin.
I'm not a rogue.
What are you? Oh, you're a spellcaster.
wizard man.
Listen,
Dima, right?
Dima's like a... Dima's a rogue?
Dima's a rogue, yeah.
Bro, you guys let me spout this nonsense for 3 minutes before anyone told me Dima was the rogue?
kind of.
Fuck.
I got a unnatural 20.
Oh, dude, we both got an
Damn.
unnatural 20.
Let's go.
You guys slowly make your way up, being very careful around the rubble, cautiously moving up to the corner, and you see that the wall that would be the other supporting wall of that room is part of the wall or building that's collapsed. So you would have to go over the rubble in order to get in there. And you could, if you want. You guys scored pretty high on your stealth roll. You could go in there if you wanted to.
I'm gonna silently nod my head at everyone as it, like, just a silent understanding.
Davian, like, perches on one of the rafters, because he's a bird, so he just, like, flies up there.
Jude, are you with them?
Yeah, I'm
Jude's with us, yeah.
sneaking.
So am I the only one who's just stayed behind?
Yeah. No, you're with Dima.
Yeah, Dima's with you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
I could have left my spider with you if you want.
Hell no.
Fuck, Ethan, don't look at your timer. How long has it been?
Don't worry about it. That was your job.
Alright.
Not mine.
Alright. It's getting close, guys.
It could be. You have a giant gaping hole in the building if you want to chuck it. It's up to you.
I'm not gonna chuck it yet. I want to peek in.
You to the room or into the spider?
To the room.
Okay.
Not the spider.
You peek into the room and see a specter, a spiritual person, sitting on a chair in what appears to be a wrecked audience hall. He's armored, well armored, and his metallically gauntleted hand, which is spectral, grips the blade of a massive weapon. The point of the blade against the floor, the hilt being two outstretched dragon wings, which goes up to the handle that leads to a pommel, and the pommel's is a dragon's head, and it just sits there, and he sits it's back against the chair, holding this in his right hand. The armrests are dragon's heads that unfurl out, and there's draconic motifs that wrap up this chair, which is taller than him. And he leans just back, and you just hear this.
I'm gonna step inside.
Okay, you step inside.
I'm going to.
I would have to tell you because you would fully know, being the person that casted the spell. Your spell's getting close to being done. You have about 9 minutes.
I knew it was getting. I was like, yeah, I knew it was getting close. Okay. I'm gonna get down on a knee and kneel in front of the knight, and I'm gonna say, please aid us on our quest to take down Strahd.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you before you do that. You have 8 minutes on this clock. You need to do something with this spider.
I'm just gonna chuck it out the building.
Okay. Just hurl it.
Yeah. Can I want to grab? I'm gonna grab Jude and bring him over to the side of like a hole in the walls, and I want Jude to watch the spider. I want Jude to watch this. And yeah. So I just chuck it as far into like a field as I can, or whatever.
Davian flies up, and yeah, you hurl it. Make an athletics check.
Oh fuck. I mean, an 11.
Okay. Helena and Dima, from where you're standing, you can see as Romulus takes this jar with a spider in it and chucks it through the hole in the ceiling. Davian flies after it.
After it?
They can't see it?
They can't see where it goes. That's why Davian's flying after it.
But is there like I want Katray to see, I want Jude to be able to see it transform when it breaks.
That would be very impossible for what's about to happen to it.
Oh, Davian's getting
okay.
After about a
He's
minute,
going to eat it.
Davian bird flies back. And just kind of looks at you.
But when it loses its HP, it expands. Then it resets.
Mhm.
The fuck is Davian, bro? What kind of cracked ass raven is this, bro? You're telling me he's solo?
It's a little different or something. Or no.
Oh, I'm gonna look at Davian with like a sense of fear and disgust almost, and like I'm not gonna say a word because only him and I know, but I'm gonna just look a little shocked, like, and I'm gonna.
He transforms back into his human form and goes, "I'm going to pretend I did not see that." Also,
going to
consider
pretend.
yourself incredibly lucky, my friend.
Incredibly lucky or incredibly talented mage.
Lucky.
All right.
Incredibly lucky. Stupid lucky with what happened to that thing.
You saw what happened to it.
It
Did
died.
you not eat? Did you eat it?
No, you threw it off a cliff.
Oh, it was a cliff. I was really hoping it would just scurry off into a forest or something.
No, you threw a jar out of the building. I flew out. It saw massive cliff. You, by the look of gods, you threw it over cliff. Down it go, down it go, down it go until pop! Pff, big dead spider. That was at least 10 times the size of that.
Pretty impressive, right? I told you it built those webs down there.
You confuse me every day.
Regardless of whatever emotion it invoked, it was impressive.
He leans over to just look down the hall to see Dima and Helena, and he waves a hand down. He goes, "This guy's not moving from chair. There's the sleepy ghost guy sleeping."
Wait, did he not acknowledge my kneeling?
Yeah, so as they come around, you guys start to move slowly into the room, and Romulus starts to make kind of the first initial steps. And before you get directly in front of him, you initially see that the creature's grip on its greatsword begins to tighten. Now, this creature, it's a spectral creature that has this, like, very fancy battle attire that's underneath a very intricate and like what would be a metallic breastplate, but it's spectral because he's a specter. His hair is a very unique hairstyle in which he's kind of bald except for a mohawk portion of hair that's also replicated directly on the sides. So he's got, like, think of it as if he almost had, like, just hair all the way around his like around the sides of his head. So he's got
a bowl cut?
No.
It's a U-shaped haircut.
No. Think mohawk and then think 2 side mohawks. That's what he's got.
What?
Oh,
So, like,
he's in the fucking goddamn Star Trek universe.
Yeah, very intricate haircut, and the collar of his battle clothes that are underneath the armor have this collar that extends up to the back of his head, and you imagine there's a metallic gorget that sets around his neck to kind of help protect maybe from arrows. His shoulders and his biceps are exposed, but I mean they have battle clothes on. It's a very intricate looking. He looks to be like a commander of some sorts, like a general. He's got a stern and sullen face, and he sinks into this chair. And as he sinks into it further, the grip on the greatsword begins to tighten, and you can hear metal screeching against the blade itself. And then he speaks. I have come back to this land for one reason. If you have come to destroy me, know this. I perished defending this land from evil over 4 centuries ago. And because of my failure, I'm doomed forever. If you destroy this body, my spirit will find a new corpse to inhabit, and I will hunt you down. You cannot free me from my damnation, nor do I wish it. If you have come to free this land from the creature that feasts on the blood of the innocent, know this. There is no monster I hate more than Strahd von Zarovich. As he says that, he clutches around what now appears to be this massive padlock book that sits against his breastplate. He slew Argynvostholt, broke the life of the knight I loved, destroyed the valiant order of brothers and sisters to which I devoted my life. But Strahd has already died once. He cannot be allowed to die again. Instead, he must suffer eternally in a hell of his own creation from which he can never escape. Whatever can be done to bring him misery and unrest, I will do. But I will destroy anyone who tries to end his torment.
Wait, what? I thought.
I wanna respond. I wanna say, so how do we send Strahd to hell, my friend?
He grabs the great sword by the handle and perks it around and then picks himself up, holding this blade with one hand. Is that your wish?
If it's possible, I would love to jab back at the big man. I would love to. So, if you know of a way, but if not, I plan on killing him.
That I cannot allow. I must know here if the 5 of you intend to end his life, or if the 5 of you determined to see him suffer eternally.
Well, from the way that you phrase things, it sounds like if all we do is kill him, he'll just come back again. So, it sounds like to actually kill Strahd, we just need to send him to hell, and as long as you promise that he can't ever escape hell, then in my eyes, Strahd is as good as dead. So I think we have a little bit of an agreement there, no?
I do also wish for Strahd's suffering.
How do we do it? Is it hard?
Your curiosity and ignorance is unsettling.
No.
He then points the blade towards you in this fighting fencer's position. This massive greatsword wielded with one arm, with one hand. Puts a hand out like this. I must know. Do you intend to slay this beast? Or are you going to ensure he suffers?
Suffer. He will suffer. As friends have suffered.
His incorporeal form moves very swiftly. The fluidity of his movements purely to this incorporeal form, and he rushes at Jude, grabs him by the throat, and slams him up against the roof segment that's somewhat collapsed on the 4th floor, carrying him up, taking the blade and putting it up against his throat. And he looks at you. Your silence is not acceptable in this matter. I need answers. The hand surprisingly tightening, kind of. Yes or no?
Jude's gonna look really pissed off about it.
You stand up for yourself.
You're held there, and your anger is settling in. You see on the roof, looking at you, pondering.
No.
Strahd.
Damn.
Who sits there and goes, yes, Jude. What are you going to pick? Are you going to fight for my suffering? I'm sure Commander Horngard would greatly appreciate it. Or are you a bit more above torment and pain? Are you going to become the very monster you wish to destroy in order to destroy me? Oh, won't that be fun? You might want to answer quickly. He's a little impatient. You know, a couple 100 years of torment will do that to you.
Jude's not going to break eye contact with Strahd, and he's going to say, Strahd will suffer.
You see Strahd smiles wide. Very good, Jude. I'm impressed. I didn't think you had it in you. I hope to see you soon.
Strahd wants you to spank him.
And you can see this now Commander Horngard looks at you and goes, you your anger. I see it. A testament to your honesty. He begins to slowly bring you back to the ground level and then drops you, kind of so that you can be planted on your feet again. His incorporeal form moving back to the audience hall. He puts the blade down and puts it against the chair. He turns to the 5 of you and sits within it. My name is Commander Vladimir Horngard, appointed by the Great Protector, Argynvostholt of the Knights of the Silver Order, to lead the charge against the defense of these lands from the Devil's Strahd, my greatest failure.
I have a brief question. This is kind of off topic. Who is Sergey? Could you enlighten me, please? Is he an enemy or a friend or a betrayer? Or
He is yes to all of those things.
is he dead?
He has been dead for a long time.
Bye-bye,
I have
Toby.
not heard the name Sergei spoken. And yet that is the beginning of this eternal nightmare.
He cursed you.
No. He cursed Strahd.
How could a man be so powerful as to curse him? Do we need to do the same thing that Sergei has done, which is curse Strahd, or does he connect it to the...
The curse that has been placed upon Strahd is one that has powered him. You will not seek to duplicate this process.
Can we reverse it?
Many have tried. Many have failed. One such man, more recent than most, has tried to combat the dark horrors of Strahd's domain. He conjures up a spectral spirit. An older man, human male, Barovian, bald head, old, crinkled, with a chunk of skin missing from his abdomen, and a chunk of flesh missing from his abdomen, and a gaping wound in his chest that appears as if he's been impaled with a sword. And like the rest, he died. And then it just disappears.
Ah,
If you wish to defeat the Devil Strahd, my confidence cannot waver in what you seek to do. For know this, if you pact with me in this deal, I will give you the thing that you need. But if you let me down, my hatred and my rage will be directed to you, and I will hunt you eternal until your death.
Are there any other stipulations to this pact then? You want us to curse Strahd? Or to send him to eternal suffering? Sorry.
Yes. That is the only stipulation.
Alright,
He
well,
must suffer eternally.
I'll pull my arm out and kind of hold my wrist out, and I'll say, is it a blood oath, or where do we get started?
On the where do we get started, he immediately flies from the chair and comes up to you with this sudden and he's right in front of you. It kind of unsettles you, and he grabs your arm by the forearm and holds it out to where your arm is on top of his, and he grips it by, almost as if he's gripping your bone. There's this sudden searing pain that kind of starts to make you buckle. I need you to go and make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh shit.
no, bro, no thanks. I don't want that.
23.
23. You
22, sorry.
22.
Not that matters.
You are seething with pain and are not biting your tongue literally, but you're withholding the scream of agony that you want to unleash before, to prevent it from being displayed amongst your companions. You're able to hold yourself a bit firm, even though the pain makes you want to drop. And when he lets go, on your forearm, right on the sides, like right by where the elbow is, just a little bit up here on the forearm, there's now this burned sigil that looks like a pronged fork with a circle that wraps within it.
Did I make a pact with the spirit?
And he looks to you and he goes, "This is our deal." The other 4 of you all look to your forearms and similarly see a sigil on your arm, but it looks almost shadowy.
That was completely non-consensual.
It looks almost shadowy. For Romulus, it is burned into his skin. For the rest of you, it just looks as if it's just appeared. And you all kind of look at it again with this like, oh God, what did we just do? And he looks at you and goes, "Then the deal has been made." He takes his blade and holds it out in front of him. He turns it to the side, puts a hand out, and it's as if he's drawing an essence from it. And he's drawing a corporeal form of his sword. And a black iron blade appears in his hand. And he extends it outwards, still having his spectral form.
Yeah, I take that.
It is a greatsword. You cannot use that.
Paladin, baby. Grab that, Omar. Roleplay
I'll
the
walk
fuck out
to
of
it.
grabbing that.
Okay?
And I'll grab it.
You grab what is a +2 greatsword.
Yo!
And have that.
Is it magic? It's magical, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
it does magical damage?
Yeah, it is
Yes.
magical for the sake of overcoming resistances. Nothing fancy to it, just a +2 greatsword, and it is it's a silver dragon sword basically because it's got the pommel of Argynvostholt and the wings that for the hilt, but it's a black iron blade, which seems to be a little bit more of its like now darker use. And you could go ahead. I mean, you could write +2 greatsword. It has a name. It's the Revenant blade. He draws out from this spectral, kind of underneath his spectral breastplate, this symbol, a holy symbol of the Morning Lord, Lathander. It's a god that you've seen kind of common here in Barovia. "I've dedicated myself, fallen far from grace from my god who abandoned me to death. I no longer wish to see mercy. I no longer wish to see compassion. I only wish to see pain." And that padlocked book, he unclasps that from him. And he hands that out, it now retaining much of its color, this like black and brown leathery tome, of which there is a sigil on the front. The sigil appears as if there's
Wizard
like
baby.
the tome has this sigil that looks like a massive like bird, like a raven, that's kind of like the overarching design. So like if you were like a bird's eye view of a bird, it's like the wings are outstretched, you see the head, you see the beak, and it goes up. But in that, there's another bird, and that bird kind of looks a little bit more like a side profile. So it's like a bird on a bird. And it's clasped and it's locked. And he hands a key ring with it, with one single key on it that you see would undo that clasp.
I'm gonna kind of look at Jude and nudge him in the gut a little. "I think that's for you, Jude. The magic-y book man over there."
Magic-y book, man. I'll grab the tome.
You grab the tome. You can go ahead and mark down that you have the Tome of Strahd.
Yo! I should have stole that and pawned it off or something, dude.
See all the thieves and stuff.
Dude, it's actually just Strahd's diary of him being an angsty fucking preteen, dude. It's like rather. Sorry, I was gonna make a school joke, but
No.
you know,
Thank you.
you know.
Thank you for biting your tongue. Yeah, you have the Tome of Strahd.
It's fucking. He's like writes about how he's using enlarge on his penis, dude, in the fucking dome.
I thought you said you were gonna hold off on it.
But no, that was
Guys,
way more
listen,
PG
listen,
than what I
guys,
was going to
I know
say.
we're in Barovia, but I want to Barovia. You know what I mean?
That was way more PG than what I was initially going to say.
Let's keep it.
That-
Let's slow the hell down.
I mean, if you were like 12 and you had a magical diary, dude, that's
No,
easily what
that
you'd
is
be
not
writing
what I'm
about.
doing. Not what I'm doing in the slightest. That's crazy. All right. The Revenant looks to you, Commander Hornguard. The pact has been made. I will expect success from you. But know this,
Fingers crossed. I'm not bad.
the Devil Strahd has hunted that book down for centuries. He will continue to do so until he has it back in his possession.
This guy might be working for sure.
That book will tell you everything you need to know about him and tell you why he has become the monster he is.
He read the fucking
Is it like his diary or something, or what's in there?
This is terrible.
It is a journal.
I told you. Sorry.
calm.
And you expect him to kill him with a journal. That is the tool you gave us so that we can complete this pact. Is a journal and a sword.
His form swiftly makes its way up to you, and he gets like in your face and goes, "One thing you learn about fighting as a commander: knowledge. Half the battle. You want to defeat Strahd, you must first understand your enemy. You have no place to fight him if you have no idea what it is you truly fight."
Will we learn about this curse of Sergei in there?
You will learn more than enough. You will learn more than enough.
Alright, well, no more boring you with pointless questions. I'd say I appreciate your support, but I think I made quite a pact here. I think it was an even trade. So, we'll go, keep exploring this place. Is there anything about the, mansion here we should know that would help us on our journey to kill Strahd?
Yes, there is 2 things you must know before you will be capable of doing the thing that you seek to do. There are 2 items that you have left to find on your journey. How I've come across this knowledge, I've been around for a long time.
But this guy has
The first thing you must know is that one of the things that you seek, you will find immediately before fighting Strahd. You will find it inside his tomb. However, the second item, or the third, as it stands, that you are to find, you will be able to find before. Your goal should be to find this first. You seek a man named Casimir.
Casimir or Casapir?
Casimir.
Casimir. He has that which you seek. He will not give it up lightly.
What?
But he will not
Hardball.
He will not fully withhold it from you, but he will not give it up lightly. You will find Casimir. And he looks at you, Dima. You will find him at home.
Oh.
Bro, your bitch-ass family again, dude? What the hell? Your fucking family's all involved with the Strahd shit, dude.
Yeah, okay, now. Yeah, that's gonna
Oh,
be
well,
cool.
Dima, you don't know a Casimir in your family, so that he couldn't possibly be meaning at your house.
No. I know that. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking.
Can I? Fuck. I don't want to remember any Casimirs from being
You
in
did not
town,
meet
would I?
one. No, you did not meet one.
Okay.
Did you guys blow up that lady when you guys attacked that thing? Did it blow up the fucking sarcophagus too?
I don't remember what you're referencing.
Yes,
we-
it did. Everything blew up.
Okay.
Oh, I was thinking about that.
We didn't look at anything else. I think.
No.
I mean, it all blew up. I don't think there's anything else to look at in there.
The souls of my brethren are beginning to get hungry.
It's beginning to-
I would encourage you to flee before I have to allow them to entertain their appetites.
Dude, please.
And he nestles back into his chair.
Yeah, we leave. We leave.
Is that Ethan telling us there's no more loot in this building? We got everything we needed.
Even if there was, it'd be too late now.
You got what's important.
That we can kill.
Jude, you have,
I guess that's true.
you have the Tome of Strahd and the key that unlocks it. The five
Yeah.
of you make your way out of Argynvostholt, getting back to the wagon, seeing Irina and Ismark there, and they're like, Ismark's the first to open up, like, so did it go well? Did you get what you needed?
We got a little bit more than we bargained for, but
They
we did
immediately
get.
see the massive greatsword that's on Helena's back, and are like, you found something there, that's for sure. Is that what you were here for? That blade?
Well, that, and we also got these cool matching tattoos. I think the ladies will love them.
Well, yours is different from...
Oh,
And
that's because I'm the only.
You see Dobbin goes, yeah, you want to tell them what that is.
Because I'm the only
Fuck.
real OG in the party here, so
Real
I got the. Well, so I got this because I'm the one that specifically agreed, and then everyone else. So it basically, if we don't agree with the pact, I get haunted, and everyone else is fine.
No.
Everyone gets haunted.
Yes.
You just get in more trouble.
You just pacted your whole group. Yeah.
Does mine look like that? I got fucking like cauterized like a cow, and
Yeah.
everyone else's just looks like a
yours
tattoo.
looks like a brand. Theirs is
I got
basically
fucking branded.
the magical application of that brand that binds the others to the pact that you made.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Well,
So now you are pacted by the Revenant Vladimir Horngard to not kill Strahd, to put him into an eternal torment where he suffers for the remainder of his life. Off
Yeah,
the Tome of
that's
Strahd.
cool.
I'm pretty sure you
Nice. Would it have been if we like would we have been able to play the game if we did not agree to that pact?
Yeah, you just would have fought him.
Okay.
Remember when I said there
Oh, so-
potentially would have been combat? That's normally what I mean. It's like, you might, I don't know. And then you
I
didn't. You dealt with the spider, no combative. You
That
dealt
spider
you
would
dealt
that have been a
Vladimir?
rough battle?
No. Oh, no.
No.
That would have been very easy. You just got
Okay.
terrified because it's a big spider, which is what I wanted. And then you were
Yeah.
a little smart with it, which was cool.
Yeah, hell
And
yeah.
then you threw it off a cliff, which you didn't know. But it very much took what I imagine would have been 20 d6 worth of falling damage, and it doesn't even have half of what that would have been in health. It would have been super easy to kill. You probably could have taken it by yourself with just a weapon, or with like a couple spells if you had some good damaging spells. But yeah, it was no big deal. But as you guys gather together around Jude, who has the Tome of Strahd, Jude, is there any? Do you want to open it? Do you
Yeah,
want
I
to
want-
read it?
I want to read it. Yeah.
It's gonna suck you in.
You take
the
key.
never-ending story.
You take the key. You unlock it. You unlock it and open up the tome, of which many of the pages that are within like the initial, like the first few pages, the parchments, it's very brittle. It's aged. The book is written in this curious shorthand that seems to be illegible to you. There are stains and age that have made most of the work illegible, but several paragraphs remain intact and readable. the page begins to flip on its own. And then suddenly the book starts to flip in a manner where, as you're holding it, Jude, it looks as if the pages are flipping from one side to the next, and yet the book's not getting thinner. It's not moving, like you're not seeing progress made on either side. And you find yourself potentially, like instinctually wanting to close this book and getting this to stop, but you find yourself bound to it, unable to even move your fingers for a moment. All of you can see this look of concern on Jude's face before Jude's head snaps straight, his eyes look up, and this spiritual light fills him from within that emanates from his body, his eyes, his ears. Everyone looks concerned, everyone looks confused, trying to pry the book from him, but is incapable of doing so. Jude, you enter a realm of darkness. You see a man sitting in a chair, alone. He looks noble, but he looks racked with pain and sadness. And he looks at you curiously. The face of Strahd von Zarovich. Have you come to torment me too?
Beat his ass up.
Yeah, bro, I run it. Probably. Does he?
Giant.
Wait, does he look like Strahd?
Yes. His clothes look disheveled. His hair mangy. His noble features still somewhat present. Yet racked with pain, and he just looks at you. Are you here to torment me? Are you another shade conjured to fill my head with false hope and deception?
Kick a man while he's down, Katray. Think about what Strahd's done to you this far.
Yeah, but is this like Strahd? Or?
You didn't even say your name, though.
You just start asking him questions, dude. He's probably got so many answers.
Jude, you're alone with him. What do you do?
Kiss him.
Then begins the romance plot. He walks up. I've been waiting my whole life for this.
There's a reason the book's pages were so brittle. All I'm saying, dude.
No. Dude, what do you do?
I'll get pretty close to him because I kind of want to inspect him. I'll get uncomfortably close to him, and I'll just kind of look at him really close, like I'm investigating him.
He looks like Strahd. He looks racked with pain. His clothes look disheveled. His hair is matted.
Katray, you know what you want to do.
He looks like Strahd, but he doesn't. There's something different about him.
Are you the real Strahd von Zarovich?
To inquire if I'm the real Strahd implies that there is a duplicitous, facetious Strahd. There is none.
There's a monster that haunts Barovia, and he has your same appearance.
Because he is me, and I am him. We are one, and yet I am none.
Is he a Horcrux?
It's like his inner consciousness.
Did we get Strahd to kill Strahd, dude?
You found my tome. It's been in the hands of one that I've slain for several hundreds of years, whittling away a mansion that Strahd dare not go to, lest he fight endlessly the spirits of the undead that he cannot command, for their hatred be so vile so pure. He could not fight him for eternity for one page of the book.
Oh, wow.
I would fight them for eternity for one page of the book. I'd be incapable of doing it, so I never have. You did. How did you?
It's part of my prophecy.
Prophecies. Visions, hopes, dreams, they're all lies. Designs by the gods, the powers that be, charlatans, wolves in sheep's clothing that wish to provide you with gifts under the expectation that you will be able to live autonomous, free, and to do good. And yet all you'll use with them is death, destruction, alienation, obfuscation, torment, suffering.
It sounds as if you speak from experience.
We all do, at one point. We all do. So I ask you again, are you another shade conjured by myself to torment me? Are you here to bring me pain? Have I found the book?
No.
He looks up at you curiously. I have not found the book. He gets up, standing on his 2 feet, rising to the same height that Strahd does. You have come closest than any in hundreds of years to doing what must be done. But before you can do that, you must know, right?
Must know what? I must know what?
What I am. How I've become this.
What are you?
You haven't heard? I'm a devil, as the people call me. The specifics doesn't matter. All that truly cares is that I am the monstrous tyrant of this land. Powerful beyond measures and capable of ensuring that not a single person stops me. I haven't been stopped for centuries. I will not be stopped for many more. Someone isn't capable of putting this book to use. So that is why you're here, no?
I assume so.
You do not know. You're not from Barovia, are you?
No.
You're trapped.
Go home, yes.
Strahd would not have invited any person that was willing to kill him into his lands. Which means the Vistani are still around.
They're the ones that gave us the prophecy.
Very well.
So are you here to assist us in...
I'm here to assist you. You're the only one before me. So we might as well start from the beginning. And he reaches a hand out to you.
Like to grab his hand?
Yep.
I guess I'll cautiously grab his hand.
You grab his hand, and he begins to turn. And it's almost like the shadows, this shadowy space that you're in just begins to kind of form into a land. A very bright and vibrant Barovia. I am the ancient. I am the land. I have dwelt here for so long that I have no other origin. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of my past. When I was young, when I was a warrior, when I was good, and just, and you see a younger version of Strahd that has this noble countenance to him. I thundered across the valley like the wrath of a vengeful god, driving my enemies before me and purging them from this land. And you see that, like, what he's saying is like the imagery that you see taking place in the story. But the years of killing wore down my soul as the wind wears stone into sand. My youth was devoted to fighting my father's war. When the war went away, I had found that it had taken my youth with it, and all that I had left was death's eternal embrace. All joy slipped from my life. I had liberated the Valley of Barovia and brought peace and security to its people. But they never loved me as they had loved my father. I won the war that he started, but they revered his memory and immortalized his name in the land that I had freed. He had found a way to cheat the death that still awaits me. It was unjust. It was unfair. The scene shifts from being like in the lands of Barovia to being inside of a massive hall. In what you assume to be inside of a castle. Probably inside of Strahd's castle. I had not been without proposals of marriage in my youth. What? Was I not a prince in waiting, general of my father's armies, heir to his throne? One of these supplicants was Petrina Velikovna, a daughter of the Dusk Elves, and you see a Dusk Elf standing before him, beautiful, a tight bodice dress that shows a good bit of skin across the midriff, some necklaces that accentuate certain aspects of her body, along with beautiful hair and makeup that accentuate the beauty of her face. Such an arrangement was, of course, completely unsuitable, but she had not come empty-handed. Her dowry was the prospect of immortality. Rahadin had driven her from the court on my father's orders, but father was no longer around to register his objections. You see, he sits on the throne, but he's old and kind of decrepit and paralyzed by age mentally. I summoned her.
Sounds like our king right now.
Huh?
Biden? Sorry.
This guy. Don't interrupt my massive monologue.
I'm sorry.
I summoned her once again. She taught me the secret of the Amber Temple. The scene shifts to this temple. My course was clear. First, I had to remove the wardens of the temple, the Order of the Silver Dragon, and you see his warriors fighting the Order of the Silver Dragon. Turning the people against them was laughably easy. My pet priest, Romulich, had only to share the salacious rumors of what their leaders did when alone in their mountain hold. The common folk would have risen up and destroyed them. I happily accepted this burden on their behalf. And you can see an image of Captain Vladimir Horngard in a loving embrace with another man. One of his knights.
What?
You assume that this is the salacious rumor. The spreading of this type of behavior amongst the people that turned them against him. With that task done, I set out for the Amber Temple. Of the men who had started the journey with me, loyal servants all, only 3 crossed its threshold. Rahadin, who is more like a brother to me than my own flesh and blood, and the wizard Kazan, and his apprentice, who had come to steal the secrets that would raise my masterpiece, my castle in the clouds. We slew many fearsome horrors in those amber halls, but the corpse thing that maintained the temple welcomed me with open arms, the better to share its accursed knowledge. While my wizard and his thrall pored over Masonic manuscripts, mere trifles, the caretaker brought me to a vault beneath a great library. The walls echoed with voices trapped in amber. They called out to me. One called out louder than the rest, and you can see like an amber crystal that's got this dark infusion in it that seems to have like a more vibrant aura than the rest. The wizards left the temple with tomes and scrolls, and I left with empty hands and a head filled with a most terrible secret. that I too could cheat death if I were willing to pay the price. Returning to the affairs of the living, I determined to surpass my father in the annals of history as I had on the field of battle. I ordered my wizards to build a mighty castle, one that would dwarf my father's meager mountain holdfast. As my father had claimed the land in his name, I dedicated the castle to my mother. Upon its completion, I summoned her to see what I had wrought, how I had exceeded my father in every way. She brought with her my younger brother, Sergei. He was handsome. He was youthful. By our mother's graces, he had been spared the ravages of war. He also spared the sickness that took her on the road. She never saw the monument that bears her name, Ravenloft. And you see the full countenance of his castle, Castle Ravenloft. I did not want for consolers. The great families of the valley sent their hapless sons and chinless daughters, all of them seeing in my grief the possibility for their own advancement. And yet one spirit shone brightly above all others, a rare beauty who was called perfection, joy, and treasure. And you see before you a woman in a dress who looks exactly like Helena Grayson, but with longer hair. Her name was Tatiana. And the Strahd that's with you walks up to her and, like, holds his hand out longingly, but hesitates as if he can't bring himself to touch her. I loved her for her youth. And he looks at you while he says this, and you can see the tears welling in his eyes. I loved her for her vitality. I loved her with my whole entire heart. His face turns back so that you can not see the emotion that reads across his face. But she spurned me. Elder was my name to her. And brother also. Though in truth this title belonged to another. Her heart went to him. And her hand with it. She and Sergei were betrothed. The date was set. Brother. She called me brother, and you see anger in his eyes, and yet filled with pain. But when I looked into her eyes, they reflected another name. Death. It was death that she saw in me. The deaths of all those that I had fed to the death goddess, and the death that awaited me in turn. She reveled in her youth, but I had squandered in mine fighting my father's wars. The death she saw in me turned her from me, I know it. And so I came to hate death. My death. My hate is strong. I would not be called death so soon. The voices in amber called out to me from their mountain prison. In truth, they had never left me. Or perhaps I never left them. Perhaps some part of me dwells there still. And they promised me a final triumph over death. But only one offered me that other gift I now sought. The gift of revenge. The terms were simple. One death born from love, and one death born from hatred. The pact was to be written in the blood that flowed between us. He looks at you with tears welling in his eyes and falling from his chin. Know that I agonized over my decision until it could be deferred no longer. And you see the image being changed to like a room of Strahds in which he is like just, it's like a time lapse that's going by quickly in his room, and he's like pondering through text, looking through tomes, screaming in agony, looking out into the window in like depression. Like there's so many emotions of him putting off this decision. I did not act until I had to. What use was life eternal if eternity would be spent alone? My warrior's castle was bedecked in garlands of flower. It was the day of Sergei and Tatiana's wedding. I found Sergei in the chapel mouthing prayers to his mourning lord, and you see the image change to the same cathedral that he's in. his hands wrapped around the hilt of the sword our mother had given him. A sword that never struck in anger. I commanded him to strike me now. And you see another form of his walk up to this Sergei and like scream at him and like goading him to fight. When he refused, I killed him where he stood. And you can see that Strahd takes his own blade, grabs Sergei by the back of the head and rams it through his throat, silencing him.
Shit.
My brother, whom I loved. My pact was sealed with the first taste of his blood, and you watch as he begins to drink the blood of his brother. My knights took Sergei's side, of course. They rose up against me, their eyes filled with hatred, and cut me down in my home. Arrows from the castle guard pierced me to my soul, but I did not die. Nor did I live. On the third night I rose from my unmarked grave, spurned death's embrace forever. I returned to my castle and reclaimed what was mine. The flagstones ran red with the blood of those who betrayed me, but the greatest betrayal was yet to come. I found Tatiana weeping in the garden east of the chapel. She fled me for some time. She would not let me explain, and a great anger swelled within me. She had to understand. The pact I made was for her. All that I had done, all I would ever do, was from her. She fled me. I pursued her. And you see a scene that I described the very first session we played Strahd, in which this woman in a dress is running down a hallway and stops at a balcony, turns around and sees a monstrous creature in her eyes, with shadows enveloping the hallway, snuffing the candle flames out as it gets closer and closer to her. The bodies of soldiers dead across the floor, soaking the flagstone with blood. He is ripped the heart out of a soldier, drinking it from the tubes before crushing it and throwing it to the side like a discarded juice box before he gets close to her. In despair, she flung herself from the walls of Ravenloft. What you see to be an accident as she stumbles and falls. I watched everything I ever wanted fall from my grasp forever, and the form of him runs to the edge of the wall, reaches down and just yells in pain, seeing her head just crack like an egg against the flagstone. Several floors, like basically towering floors beneath her. It was 1,000 feet through the mists. I've studied much since then. Vampire is my new name. I still lust for life and youth, and I curse the living that took them from me. Even the sun is against me now. But I am the land. The sun is banished from my domain, and little else can harm me. Even a stake through my heart cannot kill me, though many have tried. But the sword, that damned sword. My fool of a wizard lost its hilt, but I will not rest until it's destroyed. Everything Sergei has ever touched must be purged from this land until there is nothing left to remind me of his crimes. And all you see is a sword hilt. Just a hilt. But I cannot forget Tatiana. I have often hunted for her, led by the sight of her auburn hair and the sound of her laughter. I've even felt her within my grasp, but she escapes me. And you see images of Irina and Helena. When others do not take her from me, she claims her own life. And you see other versions that look like her, in which they do. In order to stop their torment, they kill themselves. You see this to be a cycle that is repeated for some time, indicating the true madness that the Strahd that you've come across is fully under. She flees to that place I cannot go, only to return and to vex me again. She taunts me. He looks at you, anger and sadness in his eyes. She taunts me. What will it take to bend her love? To bend her to love me? These words of sorrow are the final part of my pact that I had dealt with with the voices in amber. My tale will be added to the annals of woe that line their halls, and I will return to my home far below Ravenloft. I walk among the dead and sleep beneath the very stones of the hollow castle that was to our house. That was the house to my family. I shall seal shut the stairs that none may disturb me, for I am a monster unfit for human sight. I am a tyrant, a traitor, a kinslayer. I am a warrior, a hero, a brother, a son, both betrayed and abandoned by those I loved the most. I am beyond titles now, beyond morality, beyond life, beyond even death. For I am the ancient, and I am the land. Now do you understand? Do you know why I torment you above the rest? Because I know why I do it. Even if I don't want to be honest with myself why I do it.
Why?
The others are willing to bend the rules. To serve themselves in the things that they wish to do. Even if some of them seem selfless. But you are cautious and you think things through. If anyone is capable of finding the rest of Sergei's collection, I know that it is you. And I know that it is you. And so I torment you to ruin your confidence, to keep your silence, to make you fearful of every shadow, every wind that whispers in your ear, to make you afraid of closing your eyes even if for a moment, not for half an hour, nor for a day. I want you restless. I want you paranoid. I want you reeked with doubt and anxiety. I want to break you so that you cannot do what I know you will. For if I cannot have that, then you may become the first in centuries capable of doing what none have ever been able to do. To free me from myself and to put an end to all this pain. For I see everything, and I have lived it for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I wish to see no more. I want you to release me from death. It avoids me like a plague, and I wish you to finally send me to my new home. I have found one of Sergei's collection, an amulet to the goddess of death. It is an amulet that will protect you from me, or at least the one who wears it from me. But because I have it, it is locked where I rest. It is in my tomb. In order to get it, you must brave the horrors of my home. I know I have sent you an invitation. I know you have a means to get inside. That must be the final thing that you ever do in these lands, is accept that invitation and meet me in my home. For you will then need to find this amulet and kill me. You must find Sergei's sword before this. You already know where it is located. Or at least, to some degree. Vladimir Horngard told you that it was in the home of your companion. You will have to return to Vallaki to find it. But you are not looking for the citizens of Vallaki in order to find it. The outskirts will have what you need. You need not step foot inside the city itself, or the town. The descendants of my first suitor, Petrina Velikovna. The Dusk Elves have the blade. You look for a man named Casimir. Acquire the blade, and you are only one step away from being able to fight me. And that is the amulet. He pulls out from his cloak a small sheathed dagger, and he lays it before you in his hand. This blade must be plunged into my heart to send me to a home I've never known, to end it all. To end the torment, to end the pain, to end the suffering, to end this curse. You must plunge this blade into my heart. It's just a small little dagger from what it looks like to you. That's its only capability, is to force my soul to be eviscerated forever so that I can cease to exist. I have to trust you in this. Once you leave, it is not me that you will be speaking with. It is I, but it is not I. And he is worse than me. Now do you understand?
I know what I must do.
We shall see. We shall see. Our time is almost up. I will permit you 5 questions that you may ask of me. After that, we will have no more time to speak. Ask away.
Yeah, just shoot, man.
Dude, Strahd is literally the archetypal, what is it what's the word? Archetypal. He's literally like the
Yep.
devil. He's literally the archetypal devil. Like when you were saying, like, because of Catray's goodness, he wants to steal from that. Like, dude, he's literally he literally is the devil.
Where can we find your tomb?
It's in my castle. Are you saying where specifically can you find it?
Exactly, yeah.
That is a better question. I will spare you the spending of 2 questions in order to ask this one, and will give you the information that it is that you seek. If I'm right. ¿Dónde? Which one was it? God, there's so many crypts in this fucking place. It's insane. Okay, found it. Found it. Map.
What will we need to trade for the sword? The lights.
In the catacombs beneath my castle. The catacombs beneath my castle. In the massive chamber of crypts, there are 3 specific chambers that spread out from this. One to the north that entombs my brother Sergei. One to the east that entombs my mother and father, Queen Ravenovia and King Berov. And one to the south of the crypt rooms that holds me. That is where my tomb is. It also contains 4 of my brides.
What?
They watch my tomb to their death. You will have to fight them in order to get to my tomb.
Vampire bride.
Ludmilla is prideful. Anastasia, beautiful. Valenta, violent. And one whose name I've forgotten. There were so many. But that is your answer. You have 4 more.
In the vision you showed, Sergei's blade, the other artifact we have to get. It was only the hilt. There was no blade.
You will understand the true meaning of that when you acquire the blade. But that is how you will find it. I can assure you that when you call out to the weapon will come. It did not fail Sergei ever. It will not fail you.
So when we do finally battle you, we should defeat you with Sergei's blade and then strike the dagger into you while you're dead.
You should fight me with everything that you have. Be it items, weapons, potions, magics, spells, scrolls, you name it. Everything, for I will not withhold any part of myself when I fight you. When I finally slunk to my knees, defeated, I will not die. So you will have a choice presented before you. The blade that I have offered will silence my soul. But you've been offered another blade, one that you have not seen and you will see upon your return. From a pact that I know that you've made. Well, not you, but one that was made for you. That blade will condemn my soul to eternal torment and pain, where my flesh will not die. Though it may be stripped from the bone, it will be fused anew.
There,
Stripped again.
that deserves.
So a choice will be made upon my defeat. Do you condemn me, or do you absolve me? Am I silenced and set free to death where I rest? Or am I judged and found wanting, set to be punished for my centuries of crimes in a manner that you see fit? That is your second question. You have 3 remaining.
Do you have any weaknesses to any certain magical abilities that we might be able to obtain?
Do you know what I am?
A vampire, yes.
And you know nothing of the sorts?
I've heard stories. Garlic and mirrors.
Children's tales. My flesh can mend itself from egregious wounds. Quite rapidly, I might add. If you want to forestall that, you will need either an abundance of holy water or radiance. Otherwise, you might find my fight to take a lot longer than it need be. That is your third question. You have 2 remaining.
The specter that we have the pact with, Vladimir. If we do grant you true death, we will have an issue with him.
Yes. As you will be returned to your home plane, and he will hunt you down. He will start with your companion, the native,
Hey,
and upon ensuring his death, he will then go to you. His curse may span down to your progeny, as his hatred knows no bounds. You have been put in a very difficult situation. So be willing to make the one that you think best.
we can just kill it again. So.
That is your 4th question. You have 1 final one remaining. And then our
Actually,
time will be snuffed.
Because he said that the guy says that you're going to kill him and go into a new body. So we can actually kill him. Is there a way to actually kill Baba Yaga?
My last question for Vladimir. If we do kill him, how do we stop him from transferring to another body to keep hunting us?
You ask me how to stop a revenant? Very well.
Shit, any questions? You've been alive for a long time.
Yes. In order for a revenant to be completely banished from its unrelenting desire to see your death, you would need to die.
Oh, shit.
So you can come upon that rather quickly. You have the means of doing it yourself. Or Vladimir can do it for you. Maybe an intervention by the gods in your plane would be befitting of breaking that curse. For it is not a curse that binds you, it's a curse that binds him. So, your simple clerical abilities will be found wanting in this department. Nothing short of a divine intervention would be capable. So I hope you have friends in high places upon your return.
Don't wish though. Demon's butt though.
This is the next campaign, dude.
I could really use Lux right about now.
With that, he looks to you and says, and that was your final question. You know what to do.
I'm gonna put my to shake his hand.
He looks down at it and looks back up at you. The things that I've shown you today are things that I have done, the one that you are standing before. You want to shake a hand with such a monster?
I can see that this version of you has much guilt. And I yearn to end the suffering. Whether it be for you or the people of Barovia. And you've given me much information that will assist in that. So yes. One handshake of respect before you're damned to a true death.
He puts his hands out like this, kind of immediately in front of him, and the shadows kind of come up like a reverse fountain into this space until it becomes a bundled up cloth. He rests it, he kind of flips it over to rest it in his left hand, and he shakes you with his right hand. I have not had someone do that in some time. And he hands you the bundle of cloth.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's a cloak
Oh shit.
that seems to wisp with the shadows.
Yeah. So you got a shadow cloak, you would be pretty cool. Shadow cloak you too.
And then I'll take the dagger.
Okay, and you take the dagger and affix it to your side. Put the cloak on, and the cloak wraps around you tightly, and the shadows swirl up, and you're back in Barovia, book in hand. The book slaps close. The lock clicks on the top. Everyone looks at you in a panic. This was a matter of seconds for you, yet it felt like an hour. It felt like an age.
Dude.
Are you alright? What's going on?
Companions, you all see suddenly, as he has this new dagger affixed to his side, another dagger in his hand, not the hand that has the book, but in his other hand, a sheathed dagger, and then he's wrapped around with this cloak that looks as if it sifts with the shadows.
You were given 2 different daggers from Strahd?
No.
Sorry, that was out of character.
Yes, it was.
I was?
Yeah, he told you were going to receive one upon your return, and it's the one that you're holding in your hand.
Do they do the same thing, or what the hell?
The first dagger that's affixed to him, that he has tied around his belt,
is for Strahd's heart.
It will kill Strahd if it's used to kill him. So when you defeat him, he won't die. So there's no how do you want to do it?
What about the second dagger?
The second dagger will condemn him to eternal torment. It will
That's the one
satisfy
with
the pact that you've made.
That's the one we're gonna use. Do we don't want to kill him? Do we want him to
And then you have
suffer?
the cloak.
Suffer forever, dude.
Well, let's have a conversation about it in character if we're going to do this.
Well, we can postpone that conversation for another time. We won't have enough time tonight since we've gone a lot over. Ismark looks at you, Jude. Are you okay? You look troubled.
Jude's actually, he's gonna grin. I know how to win.
That was pretty dope.
Dude,
I'm
we're
not gonna
writing
lie.
movie scripts out here, dude.
It was
What
pretty
the hell?
dope, not gonna lie. And you're confident in this.
Absolutely.
So where do we go next?
Next, we go to Dima's home.
What's the name of it?
Go to the V.
Velaki.
Well, like Slumlock, no, I'm kidding.
And what do we do when we arrive at Velaki?
We have to speak with Casimir. He has the weapon that'll assist us in
But we don't have to go
defeating
in.
defeating Strahd.
And where will we find this Casimir? Do you know?
He'll be on the outskirts of. What's it called? Velaki.
The outskirts. Yes, Mark looks at Irina. I can only think of one place that could possibly be that. But it's where the Vistani camp.
Nice, hell yeah.
There's homes built into the area. Hovels, really. So I guess we could head there. We don't have to directly go into Velaki to get there. We can kind of safely travel around it, considering its most recent change of ownership. Okay, that is what we'll do. And then what's after that, if you don't mind me asking?
What are those daggers? There's so many questions. I mean, what just happened?
First,
Stick it to me.
the next thing we'll do after we find Casimir is we have to go to Strahd's catacombs.
His catacombs are going to be in his castle. You're saying we have to go into the belly of the beast.
Exactly. It is our last stop.
And that book showed you this.
It did.
By the gods. Okay. Okay. If that is what we must do, that is what we will do. And you're sure this will help?
I know this will help.
Okay. Then I'll get the horses ready. And he goes and everyone starts getting packed up and ready to leave. And I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions for him as characters. And this will be stuff that we can unpack at the beginning of next session as you guys are riding on your way to Velaki. Jude, your cloak is a cloak of displacement. And so it allows you, once per day, to cast the spell Blur on yourself, in which it allows the sifting shadows to make you more difficult to hit. And then as a reaction on your turn, any time that you are hit with a projectile, whether it be a weapon or a spell, you can use your reaction to teleport to a space within 30 feet in order to avoid that attack.
Nuts.
It does cause your reaction to use, and it is an ability that is limitless.
What do you mean limitless, Ethan?
It doesn't. You don't have a. You can use it 5 times per day. You can use it once per long rest.
He can dodge every attack?
And as long as he can use his reaction, so technically he's limited to 1 per round of combat.
You see, Katray knows he's busted, dude. Katray's got cheats on right now.
If someone makes 3 ranged attacks at him, he can dodge 1. If someone casts Magic Missile, he can dodge 1 missile.
Still.
Or he could dodge 1 9th level fireball.
That's not a projectile.
Or he could dodge 1 9th level fucking ray of death.
That is a projectile. He can dodge that.
every round he could dodge a 9th level ray of death.
I don't, so that won't be a problem. I'll figure it out.
Oh shoot.
And with that being said, we will end it for tonight.
Boom.
You guys are 2 stops away from being done with this campaign.
Getting the man.
Next,
Are we level 10 now?
You are level 8 for certain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you guys are level 8. That part is without a doubt.
It's alright, Ethan. I don't need to level up to defeat Strahd. I'll beat him at level 7.
No, you do. Yeah. Strahd is going to be single-handedly the most difficult fight that you guys have ever had in this entire campaign. Considering the nature that this campaign has gone in, it'll easily be the most difficult fight you'll ever have done. Where is the...
Strahd's been haunting me for campaigns. For years.
That's what he does, dude. He loves it.
It worked out perfectly, I think, that Coutray ended up getting the book. Like, with his relationship he had with Strahd the entire time, it made sense for him to get sucked into that and kind of delve into that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Where is the table with all the campaign? There it is.
Dude, no cat is as affectionate as this damn cat, dude.
Yeah.
Just fucking...
Yeah. So you guys are level 8. Next session, you're probably gonna be level 9, and that you'll end it at level 9. So you guys are really close. But
Ability score improvement.
yes, you guys have an ability to score improvement, which is great. Or you could use a feat, your choice. But that's where we'll end it. So thank you guys for another great session. We appreciate everyone. We hope you guys have a great rest of your night. We will be seeing you guys in the next episode. Stay safe, take care of yourself, tell someone that you love them, and we will catch you guys next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.